Hey everybody, it's Nicholas Ashbaugh. I wanted to show up today so that we could look at a couple of things. First of all, we're just getting through the full moon, and I want to see what kind of energy that has provided for us. But more importantly, I want to help us navigate the retrograde, Mercury retrograde, which is coming through later this week. As I was tuning into this particular reading, I already got themes of not repeating the past. There is a sort of like temptation energy, perhaps to take a shortcut or to fall back on an old option. Could be a job, relationship, or again, a habit. Whatever that temptation may be, Spirit was pretty clear that it wasn't worth it. It came through very much with like the devil energy. And now is a time to do something that is not sort of like a repeat. Think about a TV show that you've seen way too many times. There does come a point where it isn't comfort anymore. It's just sort of rote or repetitious. And what I got with this is that initially there may be a little comfort, but very quickly the things that grated on you before would grate on you again, and you'd think, why did I get into this again? So the mantra, as we look at this joint reading between the moon and the retrograde, is no more repeats. Let's try something different this time. Let's say no to something that is safe, predictable, but probably doesn't serve us, and see what else is in store. See what else the universe has to offer up. Okay? One thing that I did get was that it's important to build some protection around you. I was shown the sort of like beautiful cellular wall, if you will. And this came through in another reading that I was doing, but for this, it was specifically focusing on creating space, protection, and not taking things too personally. So as we take a look at the cards, let's see how all of this factors out. Let's begin. Close your eyes, please. See yourself sitting under that full moon energy. Let's invite in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, welcome messages from the highest powers for the highest good. And we're just going to pull 3 cards for the full moon. I want to focus a little bit more on retrograde, but let's see what this full moon has brought forth for us. All right, well, Spirit wanted us to pull 2 at the end here. The first card is inviting balance in your life. King of Pentacles, associated, of course, with money, resources, power, and also the ability to create. With the card in reverse, if you tend to be the one that gives and supports and nurtures everyone else, then for you, Spirit is saying, don't forget about yourself. Put that same energy into your own life. Nurture yourself, love yourself, get the support and the grounding that you deserve and that you need. Because if you give to the point of exhaustion, it's not going to be sustainable. You can't support the people that you want. And also, you're kind of starving yourself of the growth that you also deserve. So don't underestimate and don't forget about yourself. This can also be sort of like a supportive energy, gentle nudge, if you will, to not put too much attention into the material things in your life. We need money, so obviously make sure that you have enough, but there comes a point where working too much or focusing too much on the money doesn't actually help. And then when we're looking at what we want versus what we need, really trying to strike a balance and not accumulate too much energy or cobwebs or junk in the form of things. So reducing clutter, putting more of the energy inward, and not focusing so much on the money or on what people think, and that will help free your energy up just a little bit. If you don't have a regular meditation practice or you're not taking proper care of your body, this is also an invitation to do those things because without that firm foundation, that's why the card was reversed. It kind of feels like you can't catch your breath or can't get a clear view of what's coming through next. So karmically, energetically, as we look at the past, it is about reclaiming your power, creating a better sort of foundation, possibly even making sure that there are better boundaries in your life because now we see that coming through. The Empress is very self-assured. She has good boundaries. She's in charge. But to get from this to this requires saying no. The Empress is not afraid to say no. She picks and chooses. She's discerning. So this is a moment to really lean into your discernment. And as I'm looking at this, it almost looked like a little dollar sign there too, but I think it's more something alchemic. This is a moment where you can create whatever it is that you're looking for in your life. So rather than seeking out the mentor, the teacher, the permission, the acknowledgement, you're going within and saying, I'm doing it because it feels right. I'm doing it because I want it. I'm doing it because I feel worthy. So she's really finding the fire, the core, the love, the energy all within. And it's a very fruitful vibe here because we have those two cute little bunnies in the front. If you've been stuck in any part of your life, love, finances, health, this is the time to get unstuck. This is the time, again, to take care of yourself more now than ever. And that is going to allow you to really achieve all that which you seek. As we take a look at what's coming through in the week ahead, we have two cards. And both of them are pretty good, but the first one could actually kind of get in the way of the second. So this one is not the way it's normally illustrated. So I want to show you the difference between the two. Typically, the Seven of Cups is imagination, inspiration, getting lost. This one, we see someone getting lost in someone else's energy. So this could be a week where if there's someone that you really care about, whether it's someone that you love or someone that kind of drives you mad because there's too much going on, they could get on your nerves, you could get lost in their energy. So we want to pull away the fog, pull away the mist, pull away all of that sort of mental energy that could be coming from the other person, and don't lose track of yourself, because the true energy that's coming through is wish fulfillment. And as the card says, happiness is really what this is all about, but also achieving your goals, achieving your dreams. And if you are constantly kind of in the energy of someone else, then you lose track of yourself. There's a time and a place for this. This isn't how I would always read it, but I can see how they could come up with that looking at the Seven of Cups. If you're thinking of someone else constantly, you can't focus on anything else. So try to ground yourself. Give people room to make their own decisions, and put some of that great energy, like we could combine, we'll take Seven of Cups for a second away, put these two together. One thing that you really want to see progress on, plus the ability to manifest it to completion, okay? The distraction could be you questioning yourself, you thinking about someone else, or you simply being in that energy of, what about this? How is it going to happen? The sort of math meme. So one step at a time, one breath at a time. Overall, the energy of this full moon looks quite good. There's nothing here that I'm overly concerned about. Just a recalibration. And it's actually, it makes sense. It's repeated itself. So this is focusing on someone else. And when you really need to focus on yourself, once you focus on yourself, you reclaim power. Same thing here, focusing on someone else and missing a chance to maybe accomplish a goal, dream, etc. So we're not going to get lost in thoughts, energy, or anything around us, environmental sort of distractions. All right, that's beautiful. I'm going to reset, and now we're going to take a look at the energy for this retrograde period. Now we're going to go a little deeper and see what is it that might be snagging us, blocking us, getting us distracted. We'll look at the karma, we'll look at the opportunity, and then we'll see what's waiting for us over here. And I'm going to blend this one also with some oracle cards. So give me a moment here to pull all of the information out. Very interesting that I'm getting mudras, two different decks. That's really, really fascinating. Okay, let's begin. We're going to start off with the energy from the past. We have Five of Pentacles, and then it says, cherish the small things. So we're going to start off with Five of Pentacles. Just as illustrated here, sometimes there's this feeling of abandonment or being on the outside looking in, wishing that someone could help you. Often this can appear in a relationship where someone just isn't there when you need them. It doesn't have to happen in the deep past, although it can. This is often connected with children or with something like a wound from the past. But it can also simply be something that gets under our skin and affects our self-confidence. It's so much easier to see the childhood wound if we look at this version of the card. So we definitely see two people here, incapable, unaware, or just unwilling to kind of be there for each other. One way to kind of look at this is that person didn't have the tools. They didn't have the preparation when you needed them. It doesn't always mean that they aren't a good person. They just weren't capable. This frees us a little bit from fixating on that moment and kind of holding resentment. Live in the now, live in the next. Let this go if you can. This can also represent, of course, a need to pay closer attention to health and finances. From the health perspective, it's all laid out here on the card. A lot of times, the foot, the ankles, circulation can be a part of this. Sickness, a cold, a flu, or working yourself to exhaustion. Financially, this reminds us to pace ourselves. Don't overspend, don't extend yourself too far, and really in this moment in time, budgeting is essential. There may also be things where you're putting your time and energy into it, and you're just not getting your worth. And in these situations, it's important to pull back and say, I think I've had enough. I need to move on to something else. So supporting this card, we have a powerful message around gratitude. It says, cherish the small things. It's reversed, so for some of you, this may constitute a challenge. Let me help with that. You can start on a very basic level because it's something that we can all relate to. So it could be something like, I'm grateful for the breath in my lungs. I'm grateful for the fact that I woke up today. I'm grateful for the loved ones in my life. And this can include your friends, family, and your pets. Any number of small things. I'm grateful for the food in front of me because there's a lot of people that don't have food. Find something in your life that you take for granted every single day. And today, don't take it for granted. And make a list that gets longer and longer and longer. And when you're feeling that sense of, I don't have it, I don't have enough, you may not have enough of that one thing that you're looking for, but you may have an overabundance of some other things in your life, in which case you start to feel rich, you start to feel supported, you start to feel balanced. And then you start to pull in more opportunity, more abundance, because that generous heart, that feeling of I can do this and I'm appreciative and I'll find a way, it can help identify new synchronicities, new opportunities. So really lean into gratitude. I'm grateful to have all of you here today, for instance. It can be that simple, okay? Start small, get bigger. And if you have more than enough to give and you want to make a difference, this is a great time to help those who can't help themselves or who don't have anyone else in their life. So wherever you're at on this spectrum, gratitude is the key. Gratitude and healing the inner child. And having enough boundaries and discernment to also avoid people, places, and situations where the Five of Pentacles comes through, where they're just not willing, able, or ready to show up for you, okay? Very powerful karmic message, and the key to overcoming it. Gratitude changes the attitude. Attitude pulls in new things, okay? Looking at what this particular retrograde period is going to factor in and feel like. So Five of Cups is a recalibrating card, and it's a mourning card. And then we have beneath it the Prana Mudra saying our lives are a journey shared through our togetherness. Interestingly enough, this card is a feeling of being alone, right? They're there, but they're not connecting. This person feels alone. They may have even gone through a loss, but lo and behold, in the background, we have the Two of Cups. So they have to get through this moment. And by the way, this card was reversed. They have to let go of this. Pain, disappointment, frustration, whatever it might be. There's someone or something better waiting. We can't underestimate or rush the grieving process. It's really important to feel it and say, all right, I'm going to allow this to flow through me. It's not going to be a permanent state. And eventually I can turn this around and look at the sort of like silver lining, the Two of Cups. And we're even given a mudra in this one too, the Prana Mudra, and it says, our lives are a journey shared through our togetherness. So one thing that you can really focus on is who's been there through thick and thin? Who do I really think of immediately when I think of friends or family or someone that I'd like to call on a day off? Pick up the phone, spend some time with them today, reach out, say I love you, say I need you, whatever it is that you need to communicate, the togetherness, the power of two is coming through. And we have on this Five of Cups a few things that haven't worked out, but that power of two is there too. Also, I should say. So that's a powerful way to circumvent and transmute the feeling of being alone. This is interesting because as we enter into holiday season through November and December, sometimes there is nostalgia, regrets, could have, would have, should have. Sometimes we think of people who are no longer with us, and honestly, the Five of Cups makes a lot of sense. So rather than regret, maybe lean into nostalgia. Rather than could have, would have, should have, I can, I will, I am. Put it into the active, put it into the present, put it into the future. And that will help you get out of this, the word that comes through, it's like a rut. So we have to shift mental gears a little bit here in retrograde. And now, this is very interesting. We have Seven of Swords. Everybody loves the Seven of Swords. But we understand that if that's in our life, it's time to release it here. The fact that the Seven of Swords is in reverse is auspicious. It's basically saying, in this moment in time, there's an understanding from self, from spirit, that it's time to be authentic. It's time to call out behaviors like this. And in your own life, this is about being honest with yourself. Saying, you know what? I can do better on this. I haven't historically done better on this, but I'm going to start now. If something goes wrong, I'm sorry. I should have fixed it. I'll fix it. It doesn't have to be difficult to just own up to it, but there is the accountability piece. And then once that happens, a doorway of opportunity starts to open up where now you can move past it and start to embrace, personal development, new opportunities. But it is about being honest with yourself and not telling yourself also the little white lie where, oh, no one will notice this or I can get away with this. It's just staying very accountable. It begins within. Now, if you notice around you that someone is acting the fool, you may be the one here who sounds the alarm or speaks up and just says, wait a second, that's not what we talked about. This is probably one of my favorite versions of it. This crow or raven in the front is having none of that. They're saying, stop, wait, I see you. I see you and this isn't what we agreed to. So holding people to account. First, you become accountable, then you hold others to account. This is also about making sure that you are super discerning when it comes to contracts, making sure that nobody is trying to get away with something or take something, particularly because some of you tend to be very, very kind and give away more than you should. So we're being discerning with all of those things. And then once all that is done, we're letting people, places, or things go from our life. This taught me a lesson, and for that I'm grateful. Here we go. I'm grateful for this person for teaching me something, but I don't need them. I'm grateful for the situation for elevating my awareness, but I no longer need it. I'm grateful for this thing which once brought me great comfort, but now I want to focus on this, so I'm going to let that go and embrace this instead. Let's see what it's all about. What's the sort of like end result with all of the work that you're doing here? Eight of Swords reversed. So this is liberation. When it's in the upright position, sometimes there's this feeling of being blindfolded or surprised. So what we see here is your third eye opening all the way up and saying, oh, now I see it. Now I can't unsee it. And that's why we had to first go through this. The awareness will bring through the awakening, and the acceptance is part of the Eight of Swords. You have to know it, own it, trust it, and then you can finally say, well, okay, I see this. Where there's a will, there's a way. This particular bird is not trapped. There's no top to the bird cage. There's no front to it. It's imagining details that aren't there. So one thing that you can also do is open up your thoughts to a different path. In both the Two of Swords and Eight of Swords, because they have blindfolds, there's always options that exist beyond what you know right now. So you can ask, you can talk to other people, you can research, you can explore. There are a myriad of ways to find another path. And I really feel like that's what the universe is saying. Have you explored all the options? Have you thought about this? If not, why not? Now's the great time to do so. Okay? I'm going to clear all the cards now. And this is your chance to ask one final question. It can be anything that you need some guidance or clarity on. So go ahead and hold that question, hold that thought. Think about it. Let's go ahead and select a different deck to use. I'll do the lights here since I was featuring it. Let's give it a shuffle here. Think of that question. Release a need to get what you want. Let's just see what Spirit wants to bring through. All right. So if you asked a yes or no, it's not time yet. The Hanged Man in reverse is saying, wait a moment longer. There's a little bit more to be gained from a current situation or scenario. As you can see here, all the runes around her head and the halo there, this is about enlightenment or seeing a different perspective or really making sure that you get the big picture before leaping into something new. When it's reversed, we try to rush into or out of something before the loose ends have been tied. So make sure that you're not doing that. There may also be a different perspective that you need to gather before signing on the dotted line. And there's some more learning to be done too. So not now, not yet, but very soon, you're going to be able to ease into whatever this is that you've been asking about. And patience is the big takeaway from that card. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share. This is a great way for other people to find this, and it lets YouTube know that this is a cool video. Me too. So thank you so much in advance. You can also give me a follow on social media. That way you'll never miss out when I do one of these bonus readings. If you'd like to show just a little extra support, you can do it through becoming a member or also putting a little sticker with your comment. All of this helps absolutely go back into the channel, help me buy new cards, etc. So in advance, I just like to say thank you. For those that don't sort of like do things on YouTube, you can also support me on PayPal. It's paypal.com/paypal.me, and then it's my name. So feel free to join me there and give a little if you'd like. For more information about me, including all of the links, all the official socials, you can go to my website, nicholasashbaugh.com. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a great one. I'll see you soon.